Hey YouTube, there's Piper. If I could figure out how to, oh, there she was. Outside today, beautiful day, North Carolina. 61 degrees right now. Nice day to come outside and have a pipe, talk about some stuff. So, got a lot to talk about today. This might be a longer video, but I wanted to do a few things. First of all, this is the St. Patrick's Day B42 from this year. Nice looking pipe. St. Patrick's Day hat. Can't tell if I'm slightly angled. If I'm a little crooked, you'll have to deal with it. It's as good as I get. So, let me start my story by saying, going back to the Sinatra party at Curmudgeon's this year, I had taken my favorite tamper in the world. It was a Brandon Brooks. I said was because I don't know where it is. It's a Brandon Brooks bourbon barrel tamper. Looked all over. Nobody has them anymore. Reached out to Brandon. He really doesn't make them anymore. He's working on his pipes, which I get. Not something he does. So, in telling my conundrum to Curmudgeon and Cincinnati Piper Luke said, I think, you know, Brandon Blue Line Pipe, I think he does bourbon barrel tampers. So, of course, I reach out to him and say, hey, do you do bourbon barrel tampers? And if so, could you make me one? And what would you charge? I'll pay you for it. So, in typical Brendan fashion, he comes back and says, it is so funny you asked me that. I was just working on bourbon barrel wood today. Let me mess around with it and see. So, this is my new bourbon barrel tamper, which I absolutely love, made by the Blue Line Pipe. Works great. And Brendan wanted to know, compare it to the Brandon Brooks tamper. Maybe just a touch shorter, only difference. Other than that, it looks great. He did a great job. Of course, in typical Blue Line Pipe fashion, you ask for one thing, he gives you 75. So he was also messing around with this. This is just something he was playing around with, which I dig. It's bourbon barrel wood. With the casing, I think it's a 45. Yeah, it's a 45 Colt. Am I reading that right? It's got to be. Yeah, it is. Okay. That's got to be. Cool. Then I could dig into the box and I come across this little gem. Something else that he works on. He works and makes these railroad tampers, and I have a handful of these, and in fact my stepdad gave me a ton of these that are just need to be cleaned up and formed, and I may do something with that. But number 33, of course, in the box there was a bottle of Knott sauce, his take on not hot sauce. Haven't tried it yet, but I will. You know, I travel a lot during the week, so I need to sit down and have something to have that on. Maybe tonight. Maybe tonight's the night. It's peppers and it has honey in it as well. That makes it kind of sweet. And there was some tobacco. So, and one of the tobaccos was Brian's Blend, and that's you know, if you can see that, smokers here. Brendan's brick and mortar up there in New York, near Buffalo. I think it's in Seneca, West Seneca, something like that. This is their house blend and their most popular blend. And, you know, he was ranting and raving about this. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. So here is one unprofessional opinion of Brian's Blend. Very, very good smoke. In fact, I may order some when I'm finished with this generous sample. From what I read, it's bright Virginias, stoved Virginias, and another Virginia. And opening the bag, you would think it's an aromatic. Smells like vanilla to me, which has kind of fooled me. It's not an aromatic, it's a Virginia. But it has a really nice, sweet Virginia tang to it that really, really makes it pleasant to smoke. Burns super cool. Stays lit. I just get that nice, almost citrus, but sweet. And I don't want to mean sweet as like aromatic sweet, but just nice. You know, when you taste something and it may be, I don't know the best way to describe it. It just has a sweet flavor. The room note's pretty good on this. Again, almost a vanilla on the room note, but there's nowhere that says there's vanilla in this blend. So, but very good. Brian's blend, very good. There's also, Brendan threw in Thin Mint Cookie, his take on some tobacco that he made. And I've smoked a few bowls of that. I want to revisit it. The one thing I liked about the Thin Mint is you get this cooling sensation in your mouth. I've never smoked a menthol cigarette, but I would guess that's what it was kind of like. But I don't mean to say the blend's cigarette-y. Don't get that the wrong way. It just has this neat, cooling mint flavor. But I'll come back at some point to that and maybe do a review. Again, Brendan, thank you so much for all the stuff. I'll have to bomb you back when you least expect it. Hopefully you can't hear that. Dogs are rooting around down there, but there's Annie. Annie Banani right there. I'll bomb you back when you least expect it. Speaking of bombs, we heard 3 or 4 what we thought were explosions. They may have been sonic booms. I don't think they were. I've heard sonic booms when I was in the Navy. Didn't sound like them. But all over town, a lot of people heard it. Neighbors all up and down the road, street heard it. The whole area in the surrounding area heard it. It was all over Facebook. Still don't know what it was. So, what's going on? Again, just wanted to do kind of combined videos. I don't get a chance to do them a lot, so I wanted to combine them in a way. And do a few things at once. And if it runs a little long, I apologize. Again, most people clock out after 2, 3, 4 minutes, and that's cool. Watch what you want. Don't watch what you want, whatever. It doesn't bother me. I just like to talk. Anyhow, a lot of changes. A lot of changes me and Mrs. Buckeye have been making, and for the positive. So, first big change, we traded in the F-250. I loved the truck. I got it when it was brand new. It just didn't make sense to drive a truck that gets 13 miles a gallon when we're not pulling the camper anymore. As you guys and gals know, we had our camper on a seasonal site. Which brings me to big change number 2. We are selling the camper. So next Saturday we'll go down and Camping World's going to buy it from us. We got to go down and get our stuff out of it. So if any of you camping guys and gals out there are looking for gear, we got shades for RVs, a Blue Boy, hundreds and hundreds of dollars of camping gear that I could get to you at a reasonable price, of course. If that's something you're interested in. But we're getting out of the camping game. With me working in Raleigh and staying up there a couple nights a week, we cherish our weekend times. We're going to do a lot more of what you see here. Dogs being outside, enjoying the day. We've got a beautiful yard. We're thinking about back in this area where I'm pointing with the pipe, maybe building a fire pit. Kind of putting pavers out and making a, kind of a nice fire pit kind of deal. We'll see if we end up doing that. We got a hot tub here that doesn't hardly get used, so we're going to try to use that more. That may be big change number 3. I don't know. Speaking of big change number 3, MBA, 3 more weeks done. I've got a project next week, which is going to tie me up for the weekend. And then week 9, then a project week 10. That's a wrap. Just a quick post on week 11. I'll be done. So done with MBA here the first part of March. Well, March 10th-ish. I think my last assignment's due on the 10th. So we'll get that done. Have a friend coming down to visit that weekend, so I got to get my things done, and then we'll spend some time catching up, visiting. But yeah, so we traded in the, and I don't know if I told you what we traded in the F-250 for. So we got a Honda CR-V hybrid. Again, I stayed up in Raleigh 2-3 times a week. A lot of that was due to my schedule with my MBA, you know, working longer hours and then jumping into school. It just made sense to stay up there instead of trying to drive home every night. But with the CR-V, the thought of it is the gas mileage is going to be so much better, 40 miles a gallon compared to 13. I'll probably drive home most nights, if not every night. After May, I've got a lease up on the rental room I have until May. They lost the lease with the complex, so they have to be out in July. I could extend to July, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to get out of it. Like we talked about, if I need to stay up there a couple times a week, I could grab a hotel, use some of my points, be right in the area, easy in and out. A lot more cost effective. So we're thinking about doing that. So I think Annie had enough. She went in. If you heard the patio sliding door, and Piper's gone too. So that's good. Me and Bo, dude day. Well, there goes Bo. I guess it was dude day, huh, Bo? You're out. You staying out here? Or you going in? And what do you want to do? Well, I can't say go camping because we don't have that. He's a little bummed. We do have to fix the golf cart. That may be big change forward. We're debating on whether we want to sell the golf cart or keep it. It was originally purchased to go around the campground, but we do use it a lot here, and the dogs absolutely love it. But needs a new battery without question. So we were driving it and heard this boom. And then everything just went dead. So assuming it's the battery, but it's gone. It's dead. So whether we fix that up or not will be a subject of debate. You know, we have a trailer. We don't have a means of pulling it anymore. But like I told Mrs. Buckeye, I said, hey, even the camper, we could keep the camper. And it was an option because we're on a seasonal site. We don't have to pull it. I told Mrs. Buckeye, we could easily rent a truck for a day, $80 to rent for a day, a full day, you know, Enterprise or whatever, rent a, you know, a half ton, and we could easily pull the camper back and put it on the site. And we haven't pulled the camper for 3 years probably. So again, I loved my truck, but 13 miles a gallon and not using it as a truck, didn't make the most financial sense for us. So I guess Bo's tapped out. So he's, I guess, dude day's over. What else is going on? I think I dumped a lot in you guys. The Brian's Blend again. I like that. You can get this online. Smoker's Haven. It's the one in Buffalo. It's nice. It's a nice, cool burning. Doesn't hurt the tongue. Nice, sweet Virginia. I will say, from time to time, it might come out just a touch young. I bet you if you jarred up some of that for a year, I bet you that thing would be a rock star. As it gets even more sweeter. So I might buy me 6-8 ounces of that Brian's Blend, throw it in a jar and hide it for a year, and come back and revisit it. It's good as is. I mean, you can buy it and smoke it. You're not going to be disappointed, but it's B42. I love the apple shape. It's a chunky. This is, they call this like Darwin's pipe. It's like a cross between an author and an apple shape. It's an author and an apple shape. Basically, have a big baby. It's, man, this thing's chunky. You could hurt somebody with this thing. It's a big pipe, but smokes like a dream. Everybody says that about every pipe. Smokes like a dream. I don't necessarily know what that means, but it smokes well. Probably not a clincher, even though I do clinch it from time to time. It's probably more of a 50-50 pipe. So anyhow, I'm going to cut this one short. I might jump on and do another one. This one's getting long, but Brendan, thank you for everything. I will bomb you back. Great job on this tamper. I really enjoy it. And it is, yeah, you could do nice. You could carve out a bunch of these, put a little price tag on them. They would go nicely, and they're worth it. They're cool. Nice conversation piece. Maybe I find a Brandon Brooks tamper. You know, it's my hope, but I think it's gone. I think it fell out of my pocket somewhere that night. The other bummer about the truck, per se, is that, you know, I smoked in the truck. I'm not going to smoke in a new car, at least until I break it in for a year or two, and then maybe get back to some videos in the car. But until then, I like that new car smell too much. I know what you're saying. Buckeye, you shouldn't have bought a new one. You can get a used one. But really, for the warranty we're getting and the deal we're getting and the ability to pay it off early like we like to do, for what we need, it worked out well. And it's going to literally save us probably close to, gosh, $800 to $1,000 a month by trading the truck for a hybrid, getting rid of the camper, getting rid of the insurance on the camper. The lot was a couple thousand a year to have it at the place. Worth it, but you know, last year I think we went 3 times. It's kind of hard to justify a couple $1,000s if you're going 3 times. That's an expensive night out. Those were like $300 a night that we paid or more. We can get somewhere nicer for that. We did get a season's pass to Kings Dominion up the road a couple hours, so if we want to ride roller coasters or go to the water park, there's a hotel right close to it that I have my points with. Super easy. Anyhow, I've bored you enough. A lot of changes going on, all for the positive. Brendan, again, thank you for everything. Again, I'll figure out a way to bomb you back. I'm trying to think of what I want to put it in and do it at a time where you least expect it. I know you've been watching now, so I got to sneak it in and wait till you're not watching and then hit you with the bomb. So take care, everybody. Pay it forward. Do something nice for somebody. That's a novel idea, right? And wash your damn hands. Don't want to tell you again. Have a great day. We'll catch you next time, everybody. See ya.